Death is a personal experience for all, and for those that would take their own life, they would lead a lifetime of hell. For theirs would be extreme confusion if they chose to seek out the rosy-cheeked cherub because they were cowardly and refused to face and meet the opportunities in that of the flesh. And know ye this, those sins that are made in the flesh, those rewards that are made in the flesh, must be met in the flesh, for they can be met in no other. This dimension, that ye call earth, offers thee more opportunities for evolvement of the soul than any other dimension. See?
Does an entity, in any sense, ever die?
Unless they choose it themselves, never. But an entity can choose not to exist, and that entity loses complete awareness of its existence, but not because God has cast it aside, but because the entity has chosen to be aside. See?
Is that what is known as a sort of banishment that is imposed on self?
Self banishes self. God would never, for God would never banish any. God would regard the most vile murderer as nothing more than an extension of love that has been misguided. See?
Why does death exist?
Because of in the beginning, when the souls did enter the physical body to experience sensation, and they lost awareness from that from whence they had cometh. Now understand ye that as these souls did enter these fleshly bodies, life was continuing to evolve here. In fact, several different forms of life were evolving. Certain beasties, certain birds, certain insects, certain fishes, and certain man-like creatures. Then the souls did enter and created what would be known as the 5 races in 5 different portions of the world. Now they did so with awareness, but gradually lost awareness. Now, that of birth is actuality a death for the soul to enter the physical form, and the process must be reversed. Therefore, the physical body must perish, must die. In regards to the physical body, and as to when it must perish or die, is in direct proportion to that is a record of the soul. For while it is understood or not, or accepted or not, all physical illness is the end result of sin. That one who would sin more would be ill more. That one who would be ill more would simply die physically quicker. Now you must understand that if the enlightened soul, the truly enlightened soul, would enter a physical form, it could sustain life in that physical form forever. Not for a little while, but forever. For that entity would need no form of food as ye know it, would need not even a drop of water as ye know it, and that body would radiate perfect health forever. However, there are few enlightened souls. There are those that are developing, and there are those that are seeking, and those that seeketh will find it. They that asketh will receive. They must ever yearn upward. Know ye that as the mind is filled with sin, it brings forth physical stresses. The average span of life for man should roughly be between 120 to 140 years as ye count time. There are those who would decry, Methuselah, Methuselah, of that of the good book, for he did live 900 years. But know ye, at the time of Methuselah, time was not reckoned as it is now. For then 10 years would be reckoned as it is now reckoned 1 year. For Methuselah actually lived unto the 90th year. Really not bad for man, for not many make it to this point in time. And those that do make it to that point in time, whether it is believed or not, or accepted or not, are those who are more in harmony with the spiritual aspect of love of God. They are those that would use their creative powers, the forces of the mind that are a link to the Godhead itself, in a constructive fashion rather than a destructive fashion. They take not time to speak of condemnation of self or any other. They take out time to sin, for they are constantly seeking to create constructively. They are constantly seeking in this manner to emulate that of God. Consequently, their body is subjected to less sinful thinking. Consequently, that physical body has a tendency to live longer. Now, this is not to say that there are not genetic differences in a physical form, for there is no body that is exactly like another body. But know ye, that one who is most deserving will usually select a physical form that is more perfect and in harmony with its just due. There are exceptions. There is many a deformed body that has been inhabited by a loving, kind soul. This loving, kind soul would simply accept this handicap, so to speak, in order for it to learn the lessons of the soul more easily and quickly. For it is simply easier to be humble if ye are twisted and deformed of body. It is easier when ye constantly look up to another. For those that are beautiful and graceful of body, it is because they have earned it. But if they maintain the attitude of being perfect unto themselves and do that they do for vain self-glory, rather than for the glorification of their God, then ye may sure that those who have wasted their beauty will turn in to that of the ugly. They will have that is not pleasing to look upon. God's law is exact, yet each would do unto themselves that they would do, for no other would do unto any. For this is not the manner in which the law of God works. But a general rule to thumb, and know ye there are exceptions to any, those that would live the longest are usually those that have committed the lesser amount of sins. See?